I've just been continuing to be an evil person, and all I'm doing lately is playing games I shouldn't be. Harry Potter and Atomic Heart. That's it.
They're the two top-selling games on Steam right now, and they're certainly the most controversial.
So Luke is woke until it comes down to the line and he's got a game that he wants to play, and then he's like, no, victimless crime.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
No, I've already defended my position on these games. I don't think they've got anything to do with being woke or not woke. It's people being silly.
I tend to agree in these specific instances, and I'm willing to back you on that. I've also got Atomic Heart. I only played a little bit of it. Enough to know that future Russia looks exactly like modern day Singapore. Did you notice that?
Yes.
It's very Singapore, but Singapore is often filmed in for the future. Westworld played a little bit of future there.
Played a little bit of Atomic Heart, and I'm liking the alternate Russian, because we've seen the alternate Germany.
I was about to say, we've seen regular Russia.
Yeah, I don't like the current Russia, but the alternative
current Russia is really pushing its luck.
The only thing I think is missing, I've got to a few places where I want it to be more open world and more exploring instead of,
not
no, I'm just going here.
Okay.
There is stuff, I think, there is exploring, but it's not like an open world exploring.
Is it like, did you play Prey? The newer Prey?
I only played the first couple levels for some reason.
But is it like that? Do you recall?
I think it's, I think it's a bit like that.
And pick things up and kind of solve puzzles and stuff, but it's fairly restricted where you can go and stuff still. Yeah,
it's very much like that. Cause I know that I missed something because there's this lady you meet, and when I meet her again, she goes, "Hey, did you happen to come across this room with some golden rings or something?" And I go, "No." And I went, "Oh, that's the end of that conversation." And I know I'm not going back there.
Yeah, ladies like rings.
She's like, "Well, sort of I'm out of the game then. See ya."
Because I thought I was exploring
you have blown
pretty
it,
well.
Sir.
She's like Ana Darmas in Bond. Well, that's it
me
for
done.
me in this movie.
That's my cameo. Yeah.
Gotta go. I'll be walking out this door and out of the film.
Yeah.
So it's a shame, but no, I'm playing it, but I just went back to Hogwarts and I'm just doing the mechanical, going through and collecting everything.
I'm actually pretty interested in hearing about Hogwarts.
Yeah, me too. We talked about it, but not as in the game sense.
We only talked about it in the controversy.
It's a good game.
Yeah. It's like it's open worldy kind of thing.
It's very open world.
Yeah, right.
Is it Bully with Wizards?
Huge. The what wizards?
Is it Bully with Wizards?
No. So you're not going to class as much. Like you do go to class, but it's just here to learn this new spell, and then you don't go back to class.
Play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, teach. Yeah. No time for that.
But I don't break into the girls' dorm to steal their panties or anything.
It's not Revenge of the Nerds.
Can you break into the girls' toilets?
Well, there is no the dorms.
Hang on,
there's no girls. Hold on, there's no girls and boys. All right, it's just people. No.
Matt. We're gonna trigger
wizards.
There's downstairs is the wizards and upstairs is the witches.
Oh right.
Oh, so it is. They do have gender binary in Harry Potter.
And
well, they do in the books, right? We know that.
And even when you're creating a character, you can.
Dan, you're missing out.
I know.
Oh wait, I mean nothing. I mean, don't read them. She's a bitch.
But I listened to something this week that we'll talk about in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, when you create your character, you create what they look like, what they sound like, and then at the end it goes, "Are you a witch or a wizard as well?"
What do you want the genitals to be?
Wink.
No, it's not that. It's what do you identify as?
Okay. Right.
Yeah, Dan. Come on.
What if I don't identify? What if I'm gender fluid or gender neutral? Or
there wasn't that. They didn't have that in the past.
There's a spell for that.
Because you've got to remember, this is also set in the past. It's not current day.
Okay.
Can you be in Dumbledore
House? Can you be
Slytherin?
Can you be House Slytherin?
You can be any of the houses.
Yeah, right,
Evidently, House Slytherin is what literally everybody picks, from what I've read.
Is that true?
Everybody has picked Slytherin.
It's the cool one.
Yeah, why
it goes
wouldn't you?
Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and then the best house,
Hufflepuff. Snore.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Of course you are. The leftovers.
I'd go Ravenclaw after Slytherin, but Slytherin
Ravenclaw's for the smart people.
Yeah.
Gryffindor's for like the brave and honourable people, right?
Forget it.
Slytherin's for the
Hufflepuff
cool
is just
people.
the nice people who just in the corner.
Yeah. Cool.
Will do anything to get ahead.
If you played as a dark side character in the Star Wars games, you want Slytherin.
Yeah. Oh, why wouldn't you have played dark side in the Star Wars games?
Because in the older Star Wars games, that meant you just couldn't do certain quests.
Win.
Because it was like Luke's conversation from Atomic Heart, where someone would go, "Can you help me?" And then the dark side option is, "Nah, fuck off," and then that's it.
I remember there was one when playing that there was one quest where you could either go on a fetch quest for some merchant and come back and he'll give you something,
Get some
or you can go,
experience.
"Give me this or I will murder you," and he just hands it over.
Yeah.
Well, in Fallout 3, remember that underground kind of shopping mall that was run by ghouls, where you basically did all your shopping for a good portion of the game? I remember a former co-host of this podcast, on his first attempt, he went in there and literally murdered all of them. And I'm like, well, how do you buy your weapons? How do you buy your stim packs? Where do you get all your
corpses, Dan? Took them
yeah,
off the
he's
corpses.
like, I just fucking killed them all, mate. Okay, all right.
Well, he did have a habit of trying to murder races in games.
Specific races that he would decide.
I think Oblivion,
maybe we should
orcs.
clarify on that. Fantasy races, right? Not
Yeah, it was orcs and ghouls
right.
and
Not not
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a few games
I know.
could do that in.
You could make certain assumptions from that behavior, I suppose.
Yeah. And, playing something like Grand Theft Auto, I mean, is it any worse just going around killing prostitutes as it is driving around real slow looking for minorities?
I only kill the prostitutes to get my money back.
A new intro quote from Luke.
All right, so Hogwarts is good.
It looks pretty good.
I do recommend it.
I'm not a
Yeah, it
huge
does look
Harry
good.
Potter fan, but then
great.
again, I know Luke isn't either, so...
Yep, graphics are great. The story is interesting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to do. So for someone like me who likes to go out and do all those you can do it a bit mechanical like me. So instead of let it naturally, I try and explore the entire map before playing the story.
Yeah.
So play it.
Yeah, I'd probably play it, but I'm not going to pay for it, just because... Not because I don't want J.K. Rowling to have my money, but I guess. I just will
Just
wait
wait
till
till
it
it's on
comes on
sale.
Game Pass.
She's
Yeah,
not
or
getting any
sale.
of that money, I don't think, right? She's
She's got enough money, put it that way. I think she
they already-
made
they
$100 million off of the first Harry Potter book, so I think she's
But
fine.
no, they go to her and go, "We would like to make a game. Here's a check for the license," and she
Right,
goes,
and then
"Thank you," and that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
They don't even go.
I
to
doubt
her.
she's
They go to
worried
her
about
publisher.
getting percentage of the back end or anything.
And she's saying dumb shit like, "Oh, this game sells really well. That means everybody likes me."
No, she's just
not likes me, likes the stuff I'm saying about,
Yeah, but
politics.
You know what's
she's
funny?
just,
And it's
I know-
she's not serious. She's just trying to piss you off.
No.
just a smart ass.
And it's working.
And you're making it worse by engaging her.
Exactly. She doesn't genuinely
I'd never
think this
heard her
means
speak
anything.
before this. I barely even knew who she was. I didn't know that her name was Joanne, and I didn't know that there's no K in her name. That's just a fake K.
Where's
that
the
they
K
made her
come
put in.
from?
Nowhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was because they didn't want to have Joanne Rowling on a book. They said no one's going to buy a book by a woman.
It worked.
And so they said, but you can't just be J. Rowling.
But people
you
wonder
have
why
to-
she's an extreme feminist.
I know, right? Yeah. I don't think she's that extreme, to be
No.
honest.
I know,
So,
but she's very woman centric, like clearly, given all the drama.
Yeah. She is. And I've started listening to a podcast this week called Witch Hunt, which is all about her life and story. And she's probably laying it on a bit thick, but then again, she is a professional storyteller.
Oh, is this by her?
It is an interview with her. So it is her and a
interesting.
journalist exploring her history, the history of the books, her history as a feminist, her history as a woman.
Through the lens of what's happening now, kind of thing?
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
very
interesting.
specifically. Yeah, it is interesting. I haven't gotten up to the current controversy, but it's interesting to hear about her past and about her,
Yeah, right.
ex-husband who became a stalker and things like that. And I'll let you know when I'm up to the part where she starts ragging on trans people. But
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, it'll be there. Yeah, she hates him. She hates him.
And then when the internet goes from loving her to hating her.
Yes.
Yeah, good. No, because here's the thing.
No,
the internet hated her in the first place because they thought she was evil.
Did. No, right, yeah. She's finally hates minorities enough that the right like her now.
She's shaken that. She's shaken those people.
I saw the other day. She's finally on the same side as the Christians.
But the thing is, no, I don't even know if she still is. I think somehow J.K. Rowling might be the catalyst to unite the left and the right. You know what? And the world will be harmonized because everyone hates J.K. Rowling because she had the audacity to say, aren't women and trans people slightly different? And everyone went, no!
But that's the contentious thing is that the way she said it? I don't know. People think it didn't come out that way.
Well, I think even if it didn't, she certainly has clarified since then, hasn't she?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Anyway, I find her attractive.
I will say nothing's going to bring the left and the right together. They are far too far apart.
They really are.
Far too far.
But the point
is, no middle ground anymore.
Playing this game probably doesn't have anything to do with any of that. And
she had nothing to do with the game. I feel like
it's pretty safe to ignore that. If you just want to play the game, just play the game. It doesn't.
Now, what if I want to play
Atomic Heart? If you want to play the wizard game.
If I want to play Atomic Heart, but I also don't want Russia to continue invading Ukraine, am I cool to keep playing that, or am I supporting the Russian military?
I don't know about that because there is follow-up this week. The Ukrainian government did say that they'd like that game banned, and they've petitioned Microsoft and Steam, like Valve, to remove it. They've said, please, this game is in one, whether intentionally or otherwise, supporting this game is sort of supporting Russia. So
I can see sort of where they might be coming from. It's because it is sort of showing Russia as because it's in the alternative universe where Russia is great. They've
positive
done everything.
Propaganda and stuff.
Yeah, whereas that wasn't the idea behind it. I'm sure when they did it.
Not only that, I don't know how things work financially over there, but I mean, financially, this might actually end up supporting the government in an indirect way.
If you're in Singapore and you want to do any art, music, drama, anything, you need the government's permission and you need them on board. Cut. Yeah. So,
but even if you look
at Australia,
you look
at
the same. You look at Australia, most of our games and movies and they've all got some support from mostly Victoria.
Yeah.
So I think it's a shame because I do agree. We've said, I don't know whether it was in the after party or if we've talked about the main show, but I do think it's a shame that these game developers in Russia would have to suffer because Putin's a dickhead.
Well, Matt and I were writing a bit of a synopsis for a game at one stage that we decided we should probably shelve until Russia weren't which is a shame because just because it was set in a alternate reality USSR. Yeah,
which
right.
Seems a bit on the nose at the moment.
Better to just not do it, really.
yeah. I mean, for these guys, I think most of the way through making their game when that happened, and I'm sure they shit themselves.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? Suddenly change it to it's China, it's alternative China?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting because I'd seen that video that we talked about.
Yeah,
where that Ukrainian YouTuber had said, "Please don't buy this game," and then now the Ukrainian government, I think it's the government, right? It's the digital ministry, which sounds like it's the government to me.
Yep.
Right? I don't know, you wouldn't call it that if it wasn't a government thingy, right?
Yeah, it does sound that way.
So, well, I think again, the Ministry of Sound isn't government.
No, that's the government's techno department, mate.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already paying for Game Pass. Did they get money? Luke is probably the person most likely to know.
How does that work?
Did they get more money if I
similar
play?
To Spotify, I would imagine.
They're not quite clear on how it works, and I think it's different deals for different things. So I think like a smaller studio might get here's a lump sum payment.
Okay.
We're going to have it on here for this time. I think for maybe a bigger game, there's probably is a lump sum payment, but then also there's probably kickbacks for how many people are playing it, I would assume. But they're not really open about how it works.
Well, look, if it's anything like Spotify, they're probably getting fuck all money for it. So fuck all money will be going to the government.
Yeah, I saw a thing the other day about how Spotify is potentially has like it's going to have a limited run because not only are they not paying anybody, they're not making that much money either. It's basically running itself into the ground as time goes on because they're driving the basically it's a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
As far as like the money goes, because no one's paying for it anymore. I wouldn't
consider paying to listen to music anymore.
Yeah, see, I would, but it's like,
well, you know how I
inconvenient
pay for
to
music?
just not be able to put what I want on whenever I want. You know, I've kind of gotten used to it.
I use Google, so I use like the Google YouTube Premium, which also gives me Google Music, but then I'm also getting YouTube without the ads and
yeah.
So that's why I sort of go that way. That way, it sort of goes. I get both.
Oh, I might get that actually because I pay for YouTube Premium. Do I get the music?
Oh,
as
then
well?
You've already got YouTube Music then.
Yeah, right. Well, I use Apple Music most of the time anyway because I pay for the Apple thing.
Yeah.
See, I stopped using that a long time ago, but I keep it there for just the things that aren't on Spotify.
There was a reason I started. Oh, because there's an app on my iPad called Marvis that I like that I use with, and it only works with Apple Music. So, but I still pay for Spotify because Jenny uses it. So.
They're all out to make money. That's why they all do it this way, where we're going to have this. We're sort of in the middle of everything, but then there's something special that you want that everyone's going to have their own. And,
I don't know that there is that for Spotify for me. It seems to be the one with the most, which is probably the only reason I also still have Netflix because
it's also the most reliable.
One. Yeah.
As far as I can tell, like Apple Music, like I said, I'm using it, but it's not as reliable as Spotify, I find. Like, Spotify tends to just work. The others all seem a bit flaky to me.
There's the other thing you could do is just buy the music.
Well, I do that too sometimes.
From where? Yeah. Where would I buy it at this point? I don't even know.
JB Hi-Fi. Go buy a CD.
Why were we going to play a CD?
iTunes, you can still buy music on iTunes.
Nowhere I could put a CD in my house.
You could buy an external CD-ROM drive for... stuff or
I could continue playing $11 a month for my premium Spotify. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I don't know where I would play a CD at this point.
Yeah,
can I play it in the Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, you can play it in the Xbox. I've got an external CD-ROM drive, but yeah, I've
got an external CD-ROM drive.
I do too.
1998.
Yeah, I've got
because sometimes I like to go and get achievements in like old Windows games with gold games, games with Windows Live.
Oh, sure.
What it's called. And I have to run off the disc.
The actual disc.
I bought one because I wanted to rip my DVDs and then realized that's fucking redundant. Because the quality on those is superseded by streaming now.
Yeah, it really
Not 4K, like 4K Blu-rays and stuff, no. But my drive doesn't do those. It does DVDs.
Yeah.
The only reason I rip some CDs is because it's stuff that I know is not going to make it to
I have some
Spotify.
like that. Yeah.
Like, they're never picking this up.
Yeah, I guess.
But I can listen to Skulker.
Speaking of Skulker, not really. Do you know that Frenzel Rom have a new song coming out? What is with that?
Yes, because Fox Trotsky actually did the animation for the new film clip.
Really?
What's the song called? Is it called Punch in the Dick or something? It's a sequel to Punch in the Face.
Yeah.
Listeners, if you don't know, they have there's an Australian punk band called Frenzel Rom, and their famous song from when we were kids, as I recall, was Punch in the Face.
Yep. Where is he? Art of Fox. So their new single was Where Drug Dealers Take Their Kids.
There you go. Even better than you thought.
Perfect.
Yeah. They're older now, more mature.
Is Jay still a singer? Jay from Frenzel? Yeah.
Yep.
Nat was the drummer, I believe. Somebody I know was friends with him. Nat the drummer. Anyway.
You were talking about external drives, and I know that you've been buying some other external drives this week to potentially work with some old tech.
I've bought a few things. What do you want to hear about first?
I want to hear about your Commodore 64.
So
has it arrived yet?
This week. No, it hasn't arrived yet. Other peripherals associated with it have arrived. And like these boxes keep showing up. And it's funny too, because there's something else we're going to talk about. I've been running around the house going, the future is coming, to Jenna. And she's like, the fuck are you talking about? Because there's another thing that I bought that she didn't know about.
Right.
And she's like, is this some Commodore 64 bullshit? And I'm like, no, that's the past.
Yeah.
But the future's coming. So anyway, I haven't got the Commodore itself. I've got the SD drive.
Now, this is like a new Commodore 64. It's not like an original.
No, it's an original Commodore 64.
It's an original? Okay.
It's an original.
I wasn't sure if it was like a
PAL Commodore 64C, which is exactly what I had when I was a kid. They came out in 1984. Mm-hmm. This one has been recapped, which means they replaced all the capacitors because over time those degrade. And I also ordered a new, brand new, just manufactured power supply because listeners, if you're thinking of digging out your old consoles, you might want to consider replacing the power supply because they degrade over time too, and they can just burn your console to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they'll just send a spike through and just destroy your console. So, so it's shipping from Hungary, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's PAL, so I had to find one in a European country.
Yep.
So it'll be here at some point, and I'm excited. Oh, and do you know what did arrive? Hang on.
Ooh. We get to see something.
I hope it's beige.
This.
Oh. Oh, wow.
This is an original box of the Ultimate trilogy for Commodore 64.
Is that an original box?
Correct.
That is in.
How much was that? I need to ask,
condition.
sorry, because that looks amazing.
It's got all the original maps and shit in it.
Oh, wow.
And
what size are the discs?
Oh.
They're
5.25 inch, mate.
Yeah, 5.25.
Yep.
So the C64
I got this for $100.
Oh wow, that's
actually quite good.
That's what I thought. That's why I was like, I think I'm going to buy that.
Mate, you can get original games disc only from that era for $50-$60. So the fact that it's boxed, it's a triple pack.
And that box,
I was like, I think this person doesn't know what they have there. So
yeah, they should have held out. But their loss is your gain. So does your C64 have the built-in 5.25 inch disc or no? It's got
no. So originally, what I was going to do is get the C64 and then get, on the advice of Perifractic from Retro Recipes, get which I do have, the SD card adapter.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a modern device that you plug into the back, into the tape slot, or I think it's the tape jack in the back. And it just reads stuff off an SD card.
Yeah.
So I have that, and that's what I was going to do. Then I was watching more of his videos. And
you want to play from the stock tapes that you can get.
Exactly. And I was watching his stuff, and then I was on the Goodwill website, which is kind of like, like Salvos. And I was like, there's a lot of old Commodore 64 stuff on here, including I bought a tape drive, and so my Commodore 64, we didn't have the official disk drive.
Yes.
We had something else, and I couldn't remember what it was. So I was like, I'm not going to worry about it because I don't need it, and it's not going to give me a kind of like that nostalgia feeling.
Yeah, unless you got the same exact one.
Until I was watching Perifractic's fucking bedroom,
and you saw it.
80s bedroom recreation video, and he pans over his desk, and there it is, my fucking disk drive. So I just had a look in the comments at what it was, and I bought one.
Found it.
Nice. And of
Do
course,
you have any tapes coming?
So for those of you who are confused, the C64 could play 5.25 inch floppy disks. It could play cassette tapes, which yes, games did used to come on cassette tapes.
I'll make a video if anyone's interested at some point.
Yeah, you should. I'm interested. There was also they released games on cartridge that you could put into the peripheral slot in the back of the machine.
Yep.
And then also, if you didn't have any of those, you could still play games because old C64 magazines used to just come with pages and pages of code, which you could manually type in and then play the game with that code name. And that's what people used to do.
Just turning around.
And there he is. Oh, okay. Yep. There he's got the book.
Like one of these books.
Yes, exactly.
This is
and that's how a lot of people actually learnt to code.
Island of Secrets. That's how I learned to code.
And it's how you learn to be careful when you type shit in, because otherwise you spend half an hour typing it in there and then it won't work and you're like, what have I done? And you've accidentally put a slash in the wrong direction or...
Haven't closed something off.
And you could only play that game on that machine until you wanted to not play that game anymore and play another game. You couldn't just...
And not only that, when you're programming on a Commodore 64, you have to type the line... Well, in Commodore 64 Basic anyway. You type the line number and then space and then the code. If you type a line wrong, the only way to fix it is to know which line you typed wrong and then type it again with the correct line number. Like, you can't go back. Like,
It's not like today where you can sort of go back and sort of just...
Like, you type the line and then it goes into the computer's memory and that's the line, right?
So you don't have to tell us if you don't want to on air, but I'm very curious what you paid for the C64.
$200.
Oh shit!
Wow,
that's very good. Okay, so I've been looking for an Amiga, but you cannot get an Amiga for less than $600.
The 500 or the
the 500. The 500 is the one I want because it's the one I had. Same thing. I want the full nostalgia, and I also don't want the joystick that most of them were packaged with. I want the random third-party joystick that my dad happened to buy from GameSpot on the day he bought my Amiga. You know? Oh, look at that! Yeah, see, there you go, beautiful. But it would cost me $1,000 to get all of the bits and pieces I want.
Yeah. So, because I was going to go down to, I think I told you guys, I was going to go down to, there's a vintage computer fair in New Jersey. And I was going to go down with the intent of just kind of looking at some stuff, except it's 3.5 hours away. So I'd have to stay overnight, really, for that to be feasible, which means I'm going to have to stay at a hotel or something. And really, the purpose of going would be to spend more money on shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't do that.
And you would definitely find stuff you wanted to buy.
Because I'd be like, I just drove 3.5 hours. I got to buy something.
Yeah.
And then once I buy one thing, it's like, well, I can't just buy one thing.
Now, the thing is, too, in the States, Commodore was not as popular as it was in Europe and the UK and Australia. So you're not going to necessarily find a lot of Commodore stuff. You probably find Atari ST stuff if you want that same kind of era.
Yeah,
or the Tandy Coco or the Amstrad that were more popular in the States than the Commodore.
TRS-80.
Yeah, the TRS-80. So, I mean, you might find some awesome stuff, but it might not be exactly what you're looking for.
Not only that, the Commodore 64, most software, because for that reason, most software was written for the PAL systems.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you have an American Commodore 64, some stuff just doesn't work properly.
True.
I mean, it's not that much stuff, but it's just a thing to bear in mind that you might be best buying a PAL one anyway. Since you're going to hook it up to a modern TV, it doesn't matter anyway.
That's right. Just note that you will need a power converter out of your AC.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Or it'll explode in the same way as
Luke's fridge
exploded. Yeah.
So that's okay. So that's the past. That's what I bought from the past.
So what's the future?
But the future is coming.
The future is something I pre-ordered at the same time as I bought my PlayStation, but I didn't tell anyone.
Okay.
And it was the PSVR 2 arrived this week.
So is that? I need to ask: is that cabled?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah, it plugs into like a USB-C port on the front of the PlayStation.
Yep.
So you're tethered.
So how is it?
It's fucking amazing.
So it has arrived.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been using it.
We need a video on this too.
I've been playing the Star Wars game.
Play it. And
so it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So there are some controller issues that do make it a bit shit because I really want to play it, but you can't. Like I can't pick things up with my right hand in the game for some reason. There's just some
you're jerking
bug.
off, Matt. Just stop jerking off and use both hands.
There are widespread controller issues. It's a software thing. They work fine in the menus, but then when you get in the game, for some reason, they go haywire. And in my case...
That's a big bug to ship with.
Yeah, I know. Because I was like, why can't I can't grab a door, I can't pull a lever, I can't pick up a gun with my right hand. And it's just that the controls...
And it is a widespread thing. It's not just...
Yeah, I double-checked. Because I was like, do I have to RMA this fucking thing? No. It's software, apparently.
Huh. At least it's software.
Yeah.
That's not a bigger pain, but
so
still got to wait.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's like I said, it's amazing. When you first load into a game and you look around, it's fucking incredible. Like, and because it arrived and Jenna was like, oh, God. And I said, no, it's going to be cool. And I played it and I was like, oh, it's so good. And she's like, sure. And I said, come on, try it. And I put it on there and she was like, oh, my God. And then, because our living room's not that big, you can't walk around a spaceship, right?
Right, yeah.
So you kind of have to use the controls to walk around. But Jenna, I guess, forgets and just starts walking around. And I'm like, whoa, there's a wall there. Like, yeah, it's like, that's how immersive it is. You forget that you're not.
It doesn't do what the Oculus does, where it maps out your room and then doesn't let you.
It does, but if you ignore it like she does.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So my nephew's got.
If you're trying to hug a gonk droid,
sure, which you would, yeah, of course, those little cuties. Oh man, I'm jealous. I want it. I nearly bought the Oculus.
I just don't have the space for it.
Yeah,
you need room.
The only thing with it is that there's a back catalogue of PSVR stuff, but it doesn't work on this because this is like completely different. It's the controls are completely different. It's all,
which was a big thing for Sony to do, to go, hey, we're releasing this, and it's not backwards compatible with the thing you've already spent hundreds of dollars on.
Yeah, but it's got Resident Evil Village.
Oh, wow. Well, that'll be fucking terrifying.
And I tried to load that up, but the controllers didn't work at all.
Oh, no.
Which is a known issue at the moment.
I don't know if I mentioned on this podcast, I know I told you guys off air, but I've finished Village now. What a fucking game. What a great game. It does do what they all seem to do, which is it just falls apart at the end, though, where suddenly it goes, you know what, for the last act, play as a different character. I'm like, no, I want to finish the fucking game as myself, man. What is this?
Hydrate with my Prime.
I'm going to play after I finish Hogwarts and Atomic Heart. But I was just thinking about something you could do if you went down to New Jersey.
Oh, yeah?
You could drop invite a shared universe and see about their podcasting stuff.
Shared universe?
You know about that?
No.
So it's a Smodcastle thing. So it's Smod. So Kevin Smith, he set up a podcasting studio in New Jersey. And so you can hire the studio out, and then you can also go in and they can help with like advertising and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I'll consider that.
Luke, you didn't. You've still got to complete number 7, though, right?
Number 7?
Sorry, Resident Evil 7. The one with the Hicks.
I forget if I finished. I think I finished it.
Did you escape from the house and then end up on a big boat?
Yes, I did. So I had finished that.
Then maybe you have. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So 8 is very different in some ways. It's obvious. It directly continues on, but the tone is very different.
Well, they're just using the Resident Evil name now. It's nothing to do with Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Anymore.
No, there's no.
Like, at all.
This is werewolves and vampires. There's no zombies in it at all. It's still... 7 was very serious. Like, I mean... there were still mythical creatures in it, but it was still felt very grounded in, like, real life. This one just goes, nah, fuck it. It's full fantasy.
Because I know that you went back and you went, I'm going to play from the start, and went back to like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
That remake is like direct.
So it's prettier.
Controls are still terrible.
Prettier. So, okay, so you can... so I've got it on the Switch, and you can play it with the original controls, which is one stick turns your body and the other stick makes you go
move
forward.
like a tank.
You move like a tank, exactly right.
Yeah.
But there's what they call modern controls too, but I'm doing inverted commas because it's strangely intuitive in that, because it's fixed camera. For anyone who doesn't remember, if you walk out of a screen, you walk into a new shot like a film.
And your angle could be very different.
It could be the opposite,
just in.
right?
Yep.
Which means that if you are going forward, in the old controls, you still just keep pressing forward if you're facing the right way, because whatever way you're facing, forward is forward.
Forward. Yep.
But in the modern controls, which feel more like modern controls, if you switch directions, you're actually going backwards when you're still pressing forwards. So it's easy to start doing, but then when you start thinking about what direction you want to turn, you almost don't know which way to go.
That's why, because I remember trying to play it and it wasn't good. I remember starting Resident Evil 2 when they did the remake of that, and that game looks amazing and felt good. I never, for some reason, continued to play it, because that's what I do. But I reckon you skip 1 and just go straight to 2.
Yeah, I probably will. I wanted to go all the way through just for the story, and also 1 was $30 and 2 is like $70. So I've got to
if you wait for a sale, you can pick up 2 and 3 in a pack.
Okay, yeah, all right. Interesting.
I know I wandered off for a bit there, but I assume you're talking about you finished The Village and went back to play Resident Evil 1. I did the same thing, and I went, nah.
Yeah, good. How do I walk around? Yeah.
And that's why, with 2, it was a complete rebuild, and it plays differently. And
I got so nostalgic, even though the graphics are completely different. It doesn't look anything like
of course
the PlayStation version that we all played, but it's still got those weird like camera angles and stuff that is dated only to late 90s, early 2000s horror games.
Silent Hill does the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I did
Which
love
at the time was amazing. Like, loved it at the time, but you can't go back to it when you've been spoiled with what we have today.
Yeah, it's hard.
I've been playing something else. A little bit. Dreams in the Witch House, that game I sent you. I sent you guys a link to the trailer.
Yeah, I popped it into my wish list, but I haven't played it yet.
So it's Windows only, which at first I wanted to make sure that I could actually play it. It does run in parallels on my Mac. Runs fine. So I've been playing it, and it's really cool. It's like a point and click adventure game mixed with kind of like like Stardew Valley kind of thing almost in a way, where you can like you're at college at Arkham, you can go to class and you have like you can study and pass your exams, or you can work on your mathematical theorems back at the apartment and stuff. And
is it like, what's the name of that university that's always in the Lovecraft?
Miskatonic.
Miskatonic University.
Miskatonic University. Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and you're in the you're obviously the character from that game, from that book, short story rather. You're in that apartment, so I haven't seen anything supernatural just yet. Oh, there is an occult collection at the university that I'm not allowed access to, that I assume at some point I will be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you walk around and there's like as you walk around the library, there's like a statue of the little barrel creatures from Mountains of Madness. I think there's a statue, and then he's like, "Oh, that's a bit weird." And then it says, "You must study the occult more to know more about this."
Oh, that's great. Oh man, so
a little bit role playing game in that respect.
I'm going to get it out. What's it cost now? It's not
it's
that
like
much.
$10.
Is it? Okay, no, it wasn't $10 here, but let me see.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's in American money. We deal in expensive money.
It's really good.
Or your loose change, as it is now.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. I'll look. I'll look later. I won't,
because it's not on Xbox.
I mean, I'm not far enough into it to know if it's like long-term good, but just
it just seems fun.
Dan, you'll like it. You'll like it.
Yeah.
Put it this way: I play all the Lovecraft games, and not all of them are good.
Mm-hmm. No, you'll like it. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Luke, you won't, because there's no achievements.
So unless it comes to Xbox, it's no good to me.
It probably won't come to Xbox.
Listeners, I'll link to the trailer in the show notes. Check it out.
Yeah, I think it's very cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I know some stuff does come to the Windows side.
Oh, that's true.
The Windows side is getting better. They have achievements.
You know what's not getting better? And that's the books of Roald Dahl, which are now being censored for their next round of publication. They may end up censoring because they're woke now. Luke, you can't. Okay, so a character like Augustus Gloop, right, from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What is his most defining trait? Yeah, he's a big fat boy. Well, you can't call a boy fat anymore, so now you just have to tiptoe around it. Say that he just likes food and has eaten a lot of it, and it shows.
He's a foodie.
He's a foodie. Yeah. So people are furious, of course.
I saw an article that said
wokeness gone too far, and that Roald Dahl might not have been the nicest man during his lifetime, but his books are beloved for years. But I'll remind you that this is not the first time his books have been censored, because we, many years ago, discovered on this podcast that the Oompa Loompas were only added in the second round of publications, because in the first round, Willy Wonka's factory was staffed entirely by black slaves.
Yeah, they were slaves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pygmies. I think it was as specific as Dan is saying.
Yeah.
In the original.
And there were illustrations of it as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they changed that. So it's not like there's not a precedent for watering this shit down.
But I read an article that was basically saying that the whole appeal of his stuff is that there is a kind of cruel...
it's a bit nasty.
Yeah, exactly. To get coolness to it, and to remove that means it's just not going to be.
Yeah,
and
he did that to really shine onto the heroes. Like, there's nothing cruel about Charlie Bucket.
But if you change the tone of it, then it's not the same thing, is it? I mean, changing the Oompa Loompas didn't change the story, whereas this kind of does. I feel like
I don't quite understand it, because the whole thing is like he was gluttonous, like all he did was focus on food, which is something that they don't want kids to do now because that's unhealthy still.
Well, that's just one example too, right? Isn't it? There's like a whole swath of
lots
things.
Yeah.
Because all his books were like that.
Yeah.
Hundreds of changes.
Yep.
Because it's just the way he wrote stories.
Yeah, that's right. Now, of course, it's not... Yeah, I mean, there's... You could argue that the way that stories used to be written is not the way we write stories now. That's fine, but these are old books now.
Don't just change the stories.
Exactly.
Just write new ones.
Do what Sesame Street did when they started putting on their sort of older shows and go filmed at a different time.
Yeah.
Because remember, like original Sesame Street, like people running through construction sites and.
But you've got to start from the right place, right? You can't just like course correct, 50 years later and go.
But also,
just change bits.
They've removed the word black as a descriptor for a tractor because they don't want that associated with race. And it's like, nobody thinks a black tractor.
That's one of those things that I can never tell if that's true or not because I've heard stuff about that you're just not. We're not going to be using that word.
Yeah,
anymore.
You're not meant to say black
it's
at
just
all.
The color.
Yeah,
I know why, obviously, but still.
Yeah,
that's a bit weird. What color is the tractor then?
Now they just say a murderous, brutal-looking machine.
It's the Terminator.
To be clear, it's a tractor. They're talking about a tractor. He will keep coming. He will never stop. He can never be reasoned with.
Sorry, so they replaced the word black with with that. That's cool. All right.
Yeah. Synonyms, Matt.
I don't know.
What's another word for black? Murderous? Brutal-looking monster?
I think someone just went a bit. They gave this to an intern who just went crazy.
Yeah.
This is what everyone. This is what crazy people say. Like this is what people are worried about, and we go, no one's that stupid. And then this happens. It's like, oh fuck.
Exactly. Now I can understand why in the year 2023 you might not at an American high school where kids are just learning about stuff and don't know about history. You might not want them reading Huckleberry Finn, which throws around words that you need strict guidance on. I don't think they should be banned, but you definitely need to explain the context to them.
Yeah.
Or kids are going to take it the wrong way.
It's like when I was a kid and I saw kids on the bus flipping the bird to people outside the bus, and I just started doing it because I didn't know what it was. I was like, exactly. Those cool kids are doing it. I'll do it.
Yeah. So, and I've got a book report here which I kept.
Mm-hmm.
We're
not going to read that out, are we?
Yeah, no, where I dropped the N-word.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Instead of changing the books, maybe change the curriculum.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Maybe do a new book.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say before is that I feel like you can't just like take a book that was written like a certain way and then just kind of change it. Just write a new book.
Yeah.
Or pick a book that isn't
with something
like
else. Yeah.
Correct.
Or if you're going to do like Black history, start with To Kill a Mockingbird. And then when they've learned about that, if somebody's really smart and really
then
intuitive...
they can read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Then say, and look what happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's the wrong way to go about it.
Well, lots of countries... It's just the British publisher, but a lot of like France and stuff have come out and going, we will never censor Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm not suggesting that, if the books have controversial stuff in them, then I
put a warning.
Don't give them to the kids then, right? Give the kids something else to read until they're old enough to understand context.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing where parents need to actually be responsible, actually understand what they're giving their kids and maybe go, are they ready for this or do I need to read this with them and have a conversation with them?
Yeah.
Here's one. Let's look at this one. So in The Witches... the boy's grandmother is describing what a witch looks like, and the catch is they look like everyone else. They could be anyone, and she says a witch might be working as a cashier in a supermarket or typing letters for a businessman. Right? It now says a witch might be a top scientist or running a business.
Okay.
Because the previous implied that
a woman couldn't rise above. They'd only be a secretary.
Now,
what they could aim for.
Mind you, this is a book written in the 80s.
I mean, that seems fairly inconsequential. So I guess I wouldn't. That doesn't bother me too much.
And also, it's
a bit weird, but all right.
The point in changing it is, I get where they're coming from, but.
But also, you're not reading The Witches for feminist empowerment. Like,
can they write the changes
read Matilda
in a
if you
font?
want that one? Yeah,
that's grandmothers and grandfathers are a little bit sexist and racist. So
yeah. I mean, I guess I don't care.
Can I just say though, I loved Roald Dahl when I was a kid. Like he, 100% my favorite author for many years.
And as I grew up, I read his older stuff too. Like there was that one about how he went to boarding school and all. It was called Boy. Yeah, there you go. As I got older, I read his other stuff.
Yeah, Going Solo, which is about his war times, and then of course he wrote a James Bond movie. He wrote a whole lot of adult fiction. He wrote for I don't know if it was.
He did write a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff at some point.
Did he? Okay, that's disappointing. Yeah. He did he? Yeah, that is a shame. That's a shame.
That's a problem.
Oh yeah, I've got nothing to say about that. That's not good. Yeah. He wrote this.
Not in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He did.
Yeah, that's right. Well, maybe it's subtly in there. I don't know. But he wrote this great sketch which has been filmed 4 or 5 times. It was an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents initially, where a man has to flip a coin to get another man's sports car or get his finger chopped off. And it got remade a couple of times in a couple of other different kind of Twilight Zone-esque shows. And then Tarantino put it into a movie called 4 Rooms, which is an anthology film from the 90s, which is also very good.
Since the 90s.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's excellent. Yeah. But that segment was written by Roald Dahl way back in the day. Great author.
And now it's called Squid Games.
So
I haven't seen Squid Games.
Oh, you will. You should.
That's the plot.
You definitely should. But B, we talked about there being a Squid Games reality show being made based on the reality show that the fictitious drama show is about.
I knew that,
and we were saying that it couldn't possibly be as hardcore as this game in the show.
They're not murdering people.
Hardcore. And it's not, but evidently that the treatment was appalling, and the contestants are suing the producers of the show for how they were treated. So I guess they really did try and.
Did they not watch the Netflix series?
I know, right? I'm sure when it comes out.
Like, I'm signed up for a competition called the Running Man.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like running that much, but I do like money. So
I watched that recently. What a great movie!
Great movie.
And also, what I didn't realize, I think, when I was a kid, is the guy who hosts the show inside the movie is actually a real American host. I think it was Price is Right or Wheel of Fortune at the time. So you would watch him at 4:30 in the afternoon doing his family-friendly thing, and then you would go and see that movie. Yeah, and it's the same guy playing the same character, but like murdering contestants.
God, the movie didn't really make much sense. The reason why he's in jail, the bad guy, it's sort of like they framed him for murder.
Well, they framed him for mass murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. By editing a transcript of him going, I'm not going to shoot them, there's innocent people right there. And then they edit him. So he's like, innocent people? I'm going to shoot them.
I'm going to shoot them.
The original deep fakes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Luke, have you seen Ant-Man yet?
I haven't, because I forgot that it was out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I think a lot of people have forgotten that it's out. Yeah,
I think some people wish they had.
I think some people went and saw it and then forgot that they saw it.
Well,
I don't know. Ant-Man he's a great side character. Like, I loved him in the movies where he was sort of there, but Ant-Man and stuff, I don't think the ones where he's
I don't there in the background. I've got no problems with.
I agree. I think
comedic release, great.
In Captain America, it was Civil War that he was.
Yeah, when he got big.
He was amazing in that.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And then there's the Ant-Man movie, and it's missing something.
Yeah, it is not good.
There's bits I like about him, and then I try and remember the plot, and I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember some funny bits that he did.
There was the big train thing, and then it just
that was good.
Train just falls off.
The second one was funnier than the first one. I remember at least thinking, well, this at least got some better jokes in it with Michael Douglas. He was kind of as the straight man. He was kind of funny.
I think you may have entangled with my wife while you were down in the quantum realm. I would never do that, Hank. I respect you too much.
Exactly.
Good shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, I completely forgot this one's out, and I was going to go see it, but I might still go if I get bored one day.
I think that's the tagline on the poster. Go if you get bored one day.
And then if you get bored while you're here, leave, I guess.
Something where you're just looking for something to do and you go, I'll go to the movies for a couple of hours.
Oh, those days are gone, Luke.
Get it out of the house.
Are fucking gone.
No. So see, I don't have small children. I can just do that. I could leave right now.
Yeah. Did you saw Wakanda Forever? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, because the thing I read actually said that people complained that, first of all, the movie wasn't very good, and second of all, the special effects in the new Ant-Man are noticeably bad.
That's been something that people have been trying to bring up for a while, that they're sort of starting to phone in the special effects.
Well, and someone on the effects team commented to the press about it and said, yeah, that's because as Wakanda Forever was getting close to deadline, they pulled everybody off Ant-Man to work on that, and then Ant-Man never ramped up again enough for it to hit the standard that they wanted. Yeah.
I've not heard great things about Wakanda Forever either, and I watched the Honest trailer for it. You know that channel, Honest Trailers?
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw what it was, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I skipped this, actually. This doesn't look like something that would interest me in the slightest.
Well, it's on Disney Plus. You can just watch it, I guess, if you
I'm not
bored
going
one day.
That. I have to be very bored.
I was confused for a big part of it because I thought the Black Panther was going to be in it.
She was, Luke. She was.
Yeah.
In the last 10 minutes of the movie, doesn't she get promoted?
But she's not the Black Panther.
Oh, she's not?
No, she doesn't become the Black Panther.
Oh, okay. What does she become?
She's on the poster, and she's black.
Black Pussycat.
No, because they
if I type in Black Pussy, is that what I'll find?
They're setting it up that his son will become the next Black Panther. Because you find out that he had a son in the end credits.
Who did he have it with?
A woman.
Oh, a woman.
During the end credits.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
He was watching Ant-Man and he got bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry if that's listeners, sorry about the Wakanda Forever spoilers. I assume it...
I mean, if it's in the end credits, it's not a spoiler.
In my defense, I haven't seen it. So.
But honestly, if you wanted to see and you were worried about spoilers for a movie that came out 6 months ago...
That's fine. I know, I've had ample opportunity to watch it.
Yeah, it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know my rules.
I was going to, but I didn't.
No, the next one I'm going to go see definitely will be Guardians.
Yes. I have very little interest in anything that's not Guardians.
Yeah.
From them. This is the last time not just in general.
I think Shang-Chi was very good. But
yes, Shang-Chi was excellent.
The quality of them all in general has kind of dropped off, and so I feel like it's going to take a lot for me to... especially to go to the movies, I'm not sure I'd bother anymore.
The problem we really have at the moment is there's nothing tying them really together to push the story forward at the moment. It's all just sort of standalone movies type of thing. Whereas, where's the big baddie?
Actually, the last one I saw at the movies was Multiverse of Madness, and I have no regrets about that.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which...
That was excellent.
Guess who's coming to Rhode Island Comic Con this year?
Oh.
Bruce Campbell?
No. Sam Raimi.
Oh, that's rad.
I was going to say better than Bruce Campbell. For me, yeah.
What would be amazing is if they both came.
My daughter's named after him, so that's a photo I'm going to be getting. Although I am going to feel a bit weird about that. Could you hold my daughter? We named her after you. I just want a photo of you and my toddler. Thanks, Sam.
Is he going to do photos, though?
Yeah.
I don't know if he will do photos because he's not.
No,
he won't do photos.
Sam Raimi,
he'll do photos.
Definitely.
Not in the same way that the other actors and things do photos.
I'd be surprised if he's not up for a photo.
I'm trying to think because there's some pretty C-grade actors who still do the photos.
No, but that's what they do for money.
But that's what I mean. But Sam Raimi would definitely...
he doesn't need the money, is that what you're saying?
He doesn't... No, he's not... I think he's there to talk.
He seems like the kind of person who would be appreciative and would be like, I'll do a photo.
If you get to meet him, he'll do the photo. But I mean, he's not going to have like the photo sessions.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Well, I don't think I would do that anyway. I would just go up and say, here's $10. Actually, I bet he'd ask.
You just walk up and throw your daughter at him and go, hold this.
They don't control the pricing anyway, actually, I found out.
Oh, is that right?
Because Lance Henriksen was like weird about it.
Huh.
Because I had to pay for the photo with him. And he was like, sorry. Because I think he's someone who's just genuinely pleased to have the fans and stuff like that. And I think he gets paid regardless. So to be there.
Oh, okay. So the con dictates what they think each person's worth, and then I guess takes a cut of it.
They dictate that, and they also said, and it's actually they've clarified this quite significantly in recent years, is that you're not allowed to record your conversations with them. Like it's not for interviews.
Yeah, right.
So this even the stuff that we used to do with people like Bill Diamond and some of the comic authors and artists and stuff like that. Not allowed to do that anymore. Like James O'Barr. I was going to talk to James O'Barr. Nah, not allowed.
Oh wow!
I can talk to him and I can tell you what he said.
With it.
Yeah.
No. If they find out, we got. I don't.
Did you see James O'Barr at one? Did you?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Does he still look sad, or is he cheered up?
No, he looked sad. I mean, can you blame him?
No.
But so there was one. I don't know, it was last year's Rhode Island Comic Con, but there was one Rhode Island Comic Con where the company that organizes it sent out an email afterwards and said, whoever interviewed Tom Arnold on the floor yesterday, get in touch with us immediately. Reminder to everybody, you are not allowed to do that.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I don't know what the fuck Tom Arnold said.
Wow.
To these people.
Can only imagine what Tom Arnold said.
I was like, I bet he said something fucking controversial, and then was like, shit. What have I done?
Yeah. Hey, just so you know, I did an interview just now.
Yeah. I may have committed a crime.
Yeah.
I just find it very strange. I could understand they have the rules and that, like, you have to get their consent and stuff, but just the blanket rule of no seems a bit
I guess it's just because that's not... I guess they do specific press stuff and they want to limit
and you're putting them on the spot in a way. Because actually, we asked Mina Suvari if she'd mind chatting to us on recording, and her publicist who was with her said, oh no, just because she's not prepared for that.
She doesn't know what she's going to
she might say something. Yeah, exactly. You might, what if I ask her, oh, how'd you like getting your tits out for Kevin Spacey? Like,
I mean,
something.
Well, that's the first question.
Yeah, that's what I would have asked her.
No, that's why I said, do you mind if I ask you about what it was like getting your tits out for Kevin Spacey? And she looked at her publicist, and the publicist went, oh, probably better not.
What's it like being the one person who consented to being with Kevin Spacey?
So I can see why they don't want you.
Yeah, I'm now thinking about that
some
blind
rando.
side. Like they have no idea who you are.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck am I going to ask him?
Yeah,
fuck, marry, kill, go.
They can just pick anyone.
Yeah, no.
This is what I ask all celebrities.
Cast of them. Yeah, no, it's what I'm going to do to you right now. You choose. Yes.
Oh no, it's all right. Jenna hates the story.
Mina
Suvari is from Rhode Island.
Okay.
And so I said, because we were chatting, I said, "Oh, you're a local. You're from Rhode Island, aren't you?" And she goes, "Yeah." And Jenna goes, "Oh, me too." And then she goes, "Yep," because we were at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yeah.
And it was really. And then afterwards, Jenna was like, "Oh, I feel like such a
God
dickhead."
Damn it! Of course we are. No, I'm with Jenna. I stand with Jenna on that one.
I know.
I can sort of understand. Like, it'd be but I can see where she's going. Like, if it was in another city or something, then it's but then it's
Keith Coogan too.
Everyone here is from Rhode Island.
Keith Coogan said, he was like, have you seen the new Kevin Smith movie? And we were like, nah. And he goes, oh, I'm in that. And then I said, oh, who do you play in that? And he goes, I play Keith Coogan. Jenny goes, who's Keith Coogan?
That's on him. He should have said, I play myself.
No. That's,
He set that up. He thinks he's more famous than he is. Not everyone knows Keith Coogan.
Yeah, that was good. Sorry, Jenna. She doesn't listen to the show anymore.
I bet she doesn't. Guys, do you want to head over to the after party? I've got some transgender news I'd like to run past you.
Not again.
Can
we do a funny after party this week on behalf of the listeners? Can we please do a funny after party?
I've also got some Harvey Weinstein follow up. Yeah.
What is the after party, Dan?
The after party is if we get to this part in the episode and you just don't want it to end. Like
haven't
it does
gotten
for
bored
everyone else. Yeah, somehow you're still with us, or you're not impregnating the future Black Panthers. You can you can pop on over to patreon.com/multiple nerdgasm and you can subscribe to the $10 a month tier, which gets you just a little bit extra every week. Just a little 10 to 20 minutes extra. Usually the stuff that
a little bit
we
more
feel
than a tip.
We can't. Yeah. The rest of the shaft. Up to the balls. But no more than that. Because we draw the line.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.